the Kremlin has demanded that Ukraine recognize Crimea as Russian and Donetsk and Lugansk as independent states if the invasion is to end. Ahead of peace talks this afternoon, a spokesperson for the Russian government outlined what Vladimir Putin wants from the invasion. They said that Russia would continue with the demilitarization of Ukraine, suggesting the country's army would have be dissolved or reduced significantly for the Kremlin to call the war off. Another demand is that Crimea, which Russia took by force last decade, is recognized by Volodymyr Zelensky's government. The Kremlin also wants Donetsk and Lugansk, where intense fighting has raged between Russian-backed separatists and Ukrainian forces for 8 years, to officially become independent states. Russia's further demands include Ukraine changing its constitution so that it cannot join NATO. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said, they should make amendments to the constitution according to which Ukraine would reject any aims to enter any bloc. This is possible only by making changes to the constitution. We really are finishing the demilitarization of Ukraine. We will finish it, but the main thing is that Ukraine ceases its military action. They should stop their military action and then no one will shoot. On the topic of the separatist regions, he added, this is not us seizing Lugansk and Donetsk from Ukraine. Donetsk and Lugansk don't want to be part of Ukraine. But it doesn't mean they should be destroyed as a result. For the rest, Ukraine is an independent state that will live as it wants, but under conditions of neutrality. In the run-up to the Russian invasion, Ukraine repeatedly and emphatically denied Moscow's assertions that it was about to mount an offensive to take back the separatist regions by force. Peskov said the situation in Ukraine had posed a much greater threat to Russia's security than it had in 2014, when Russia had also amassed 150,000 troops at its border with Ukraine, prompting fears of a Russian invasion, but had limited its action to the annexation of Crimea. Since then the situation has worsened for us. In 2014, they began supplying weapons to Ukraine and preparing the army for NATO, bringing it in line with NATO standards, he said. In the end, what tipped the balance was the lives of these 3 million people in Donbass. We understood they would be attacked. While the demands are unlikely to be met, particularly that relating to Ukraine's armed forces, the announcement offers clarity as to what the Russians want from the invasion, which is now in its 12th day. It has been made 2 hours before the third round of negotiations are due to begin in the Belarusian city of Brest. The first failed to produce any agreements while the second led to a commitment to produce humanitarian corridors to evacuate civilians from built-up areas. When these corridors were enacted on Saturday and Sunday, the Russian forces continued shelling, forcing Ukrainians to run for their lives. One shell strike in Irpin on the outskirts of Kyiv caused the deaths of 8 people, including 4 members of the same family. The speed with which the agreement was cast aside may leave the Ukrainian negotiating team wary of trusting a Russian offer of peace. Today Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Ukrainian counterpart Dmytro Kuleba agreed to meet at a forum in southern Turkey on Thursday, the first potential talks between the top diplomats since Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu made the announcement in brief remarks to media on Monday, adding he would attend the meeting in the resort city of Antalya. NATO member Turkey, which shares a maritime border with Russia and Ukraine in the Black Sea, has been offering to host talks. Ankara has good relations with both Moscow and Kyiv, and has Russia's invasion unacceptable even as it opposes sanctions against Moscow.